And again, we have lots of things that we'll have to continue to evaluate for as we go on, because we'll have some further issues. But I want to be clear: we're not out of the woods yet, but we are well ahead of the game based on where we may have been before without the technology. The technology has really saved us in this situation, so we're happy that the city made that investment in it.
So it's.
I was going to say kudos for the great response time and quick turnaround, and that you created that to quick preparation.
Oh yes, absolutely. You had a question too.
I did.
Yes.
So you said y'all have been monitoring this since the beginning of the month. But what was the issue that caught your attention and got this on your radar?
Well, so let me kind of back up. So in emergency management, we have a great working relationship with Texas Division of Emergency Management, the National Weather Service, and all of our partners. Throughout this process, for the general public's consumption, when we have an event like this, we will usually stand up an EOC, which is an Emergency Operations Center. That Emergency Operations Center basically is a coordinating hub where we have contact with our partners, whether it be Christus, the hospitals, the school districts, the county officials. It's basically a hub where we can all communicate and share information everywhere from the state, county, local agencies. When we were notified on the 19th, okay, that we had a potential for severe winter weather. The way that process usually starts is that we get that notification, National Weather Service will make that, and I'm sure you guys probably in the media, we're all, hey, we've been told this is coming, everybody starts to ramp things up, and we do the exact same thing. We began by taking out and evaluating our plans that we have in place. We have these in place year-round. We pull them off the shelf. We make sure that we're good to go, that we've done our checklist and have everything ready to go. We took some initial steps to make sure that we had everything prepared to respond in the event of, this instance or that instance. We look at all those things and make sure that everything is checked off and ready to go. Tuesday, we began having special weather calls with the National Weather Service out of Shreveport. We had calls every day, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday was the first day we didn't have a call, but at that point we knew what was coming. And so we start that process with them, trying to get what's the confidence level that this is going to happen, what do we expect the impact to be, and then that drives what we do in preparation. And so we have all these plans, and basically we try to put them in place based on what we think is going to come. And then again, we work with all of our partners. In fact, in the press release, with the water distribution, the issue that we're having, we will be distributing water today to the public from 2 to 6 here at the convention center. And this event, when we recognized the issue that we had, we put in a request to the Texas Division of Emergency Management. We requested 40 pallets of water. That will be here before noon today, knock on wood, hopefully, barring any traffic delays. And we will have that unloaded, and we'll begin handing that out this afternoon. And should we have any further complications, we're prepared to hand out water for the next several days. And then we'll make a plan if any additional resources are needed. But all that is pre-built and pre-baked into the cake well in advance. And so, not to muddy the waters, but a lot of the times people don't realize all the things that are happening sometimes years in advance of an event like this. And we learn from each one of these we do. So when we had the Storm Uri in 21, we learned a lot of lessons from that one. And those lessons applied here today, just like, so, there's a lot of things, and I'm just thankful that we've taken that approach and things are going well. So
I just want to make sure I'm understanding. The storm and the freeze did create the leaks.
Yes. Okay. Everything that we're dealing with in our system today is a direct relation of the stress that was put on the system from the frost. So.
And it's a freeze and thaw kind of issue,
yes,
right?
ma'am.
Okay.
Which is the other reason for the general public. That's the reason we didn't have anything until yesterday, because we haven't really gotten above freezing for an extended period of time. We needed to be above freezing for an extended period of time for it to thaw and see where the ruptures were. Right. That's what happened yesterday. And we were notified at 10 a.m. by our water department that we were starting to see an increase, and we immediately started responding.
Okay.
So,
absolutely.
You go ahead first.
So just for clarification, the water leaks are from either homeowners or business owners, not city mains.
No, we have two. So it's a combination. Our approach yesterday was because sometimes it's more difficult to identify the problems in the water mains. Sometimes they have to expose themselves. We do have technology in place to help us locate those. but we were early enough on in the event that they weren't indicating yet. The leak hadn't become severe enough, right? So again, very proactive. What we were being notified of was the leaks at the meters, and so the approach was, we'll stop these, and then we'll continue to evaluate for our side of the system, which is why we issued the press release, and it's why we took the conservative. We want to be conservative with our water use.
And just another follow-up. So the water, you just mentioned about the pallets of water coming in. Is it because you need potable water, or is it just so people have water to use?
Right. This is a precaution. We addressed the issue. We were concerned if our water levels, if we had additional breaks that we weren't prepared for yet. We were concerned that we wanted to have, it's much easier to be ahead of the curve and have the water ready to go than to have to try and ramp that up when we have water shut off, right? And so that's the approach that we took. We got out in front of it. We requested it. The state approved it. And so that water is, each household will get one case. Obviously, we will ramp that up if anything further develops. But for us, it was more about just a precautionary. Our water system is up and running and stable. And that's what I say. The leaks that we have, we're trying to identify them. This is well in advance, but what we saw, we did not, with this weather and with it would take us so much time to ramp that stuff up. We did not want to take that risk. It was just a gamble we weren't willing to do.
So did the pressure ever drop low enough for more water now?
No, sir, it did not.
And did it drop low enough that it caused an issue with have any fires happened that
We've had some structure fires during the actual winter event, not since the thaw, but that's another one of those things that we make a plan for. Whether I'll get my fire chief out here. We have multiple plans in place when we respond to those, including if the hydrants don't work or we have issues, we have water tenders that will come for our neighbors, and so we have those plans in place, and again, that's all part of our preparation process.
So what would you say the water supply status is? Stable, or is there still work to be done?
Water supply is stable right now. We have repairs that are being made, but again, well in advance, we saw that when we saw the levels dropping yesterday, we started with immediately addressing those levels concerns, and we started initiating our response, which included obviously identifying and fixing and repairing those issues, and then having water available for our citizens in the event it should continue to escalate. So,
going to have the police department?
yeah, absolutely.
Chief Maria Boriaco with KMHT Radio. Thank you for being here today. What type of extra stress does an event like this put on our police department?
I think all the departments in every city are stressed. So we increased our staffing, recognizing that we get additional calls for services, stranded motorists, and really, in a situation like that, a lot of times they're going to call emergency services because police and fire are out. So we end up responding and helping citizens in different ways. So it causes increased call volume. Obviously, it's more difficult to get out and move around. And I would say this, that I think our community's done a really good job this year about not getting out on the roadway. It helped not having electricity, internet, that helps people stay, but I'm proud of them because they didn't get out during the height of the storm, and it really made our streets much safer.
We describe for viewers that are watching this, can you describe how the roads are and the streets are in the city?
So the roads are much better. Obviously, as we stand here, we can see the thaw. The issues still are in the shaded area. So if it's shaded, there's what's called black ice. It's ice you can't see that well, and that's our issues now. So I would recommend our drivers to still be cautious, take extra time as they're driving, and recognizing those shaded areas, there is still ice on the roadways.
Chief, you all have, I know everybody did a great job. Did you have much emergency response during this time?
There were, and we responded, but with that being said, it was much less than it had been in the past. And I think a big piece of that is our legislative roads. So there's less traffic and less issues.
Okay, well, that concludes our news
Yes,
conference.
ma'am. Thank you.
Service that you do for our community.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you all. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Did you go to SFA?
I went to Texas A&M. Yeah.